सबसे न्यारा। ज्ञान और विज्ञान यहीं से सबने पाया सारा, सबने पाया सारा। कुछ भूलों से हारा फिर से जीते देश हमारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी। वैज्ञानिकता विनय सभ्यता स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी, स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी। देशभक्ति में तेजस्वी हो फिर समाज यह सारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
महावीर गोविंद शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे। परंपरा की पुण्य चेतना उर में हम सब धारे, उर में हम सब धारे। बाल हृदय में उसे जगाकर जगे देश यह सारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
समर्थ बनाओ।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागो सारी दुर्बलता को राष्ट्र समर्थ बनाओ। बंधु भाव समता ममता से सबको गले लगाओ, सबको गले लगाओ। चलो विवेकानंद मार्ग पर शुभ संदेश हमारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा। भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, 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 गीता परिवार हमारा।
अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वेणुर्मधुरो रेणुर्मधुरः पाणिर्मधुरः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
तरणं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
कुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीथी मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं
जले। संग्राममय जीवन धरा पर विजय रथ ले हम चले। सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। ध्येय ज्योति नित जले।
योगेशं सच्चिदानन्दं वासुदेवं व्रजप्रियं धर्मसंस्थापकं वीरम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा। भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा। गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा। भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा। गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
भारतीय संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
भारतीय संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा। ज्ञान और विज्ञान यहीं से सबने पाया सारा। सबने पाया सारा। कुछ भूलों से हारा फिर से जीते देश हमारा। गीता परिवार हमारा। गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत।
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारि। बरनउ रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ वज्र औ ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबेको आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबेको रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिंहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई। सहस बदन तुम रोज तुळस गावै अस कही श्रीपती कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर पल जानु प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपै तीनों लोक हाकते कापै भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै महावीर जब नाम सुनावै नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों जुग प्रताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नो निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटई मिटई सब पीरा जो सुमिरै हनुमत बल बीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़ हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।
Jai Shri Krishna. In Zoom meeting, if you want to turn off the notification of Zoom chats, then click on the chats and then click on these three dots, turn off notifications, click on that, click on the mute option, and now chats notification will not disturb you. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna and a very warm welcome to everyone present. On behalf of Gita Pariwar, I, Parinita Gupta, invite all the enthusiastic Gita devotees for an interpretation session of Nyas. I start with my head bowed down to the lotus feet of Purushottam Bhagwan Shri Krishna and Param Pujya Swami Govind Dev Giriji Maharaj, who is always guiding us. In today's session, we will understand that Nyas, through meaningful hand gestures, helps us absorb and live the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita while also teaching us the proper rituals to be followed during the Anushthan of complete Gita Parayan. But before starting the session, let's quickly bless up some Zoom guidelines. If you have no sound, then you plug in the headphones or increase the volume of your phone or computer. If the chat box is blinking continuously, then you tap the bell icon at the right corner to mute the notifications. If the voice is breaking or cutting, check your internet connection. If possible, use Wi-Fi instead of mobile data. If the screen is not visible, click on Start Video on Zoom. And if the screen is blurry, this happens due to slow internet, then try switching your network connection. If the Zoom keeps on disconnecting, you can watch this session via the YouTube link. And if the Zoom suddenly closes, you can rejoin with the meeting link. Now we shall begin our session with the prayer, the invocation of the divine, for which I would like to invite Gopal Krishna Kulkarni ji, who is from Pune, Maharashtra, and is a retired banker. Bhaiya holds a BA degree and enjoys reading, teaching, and traveling. He serves Gita Pariwar as a trainer, mentor, and examiner, and has been associated with the organizations since June 2023. Bhaiya, kindly do the prayer.
जय श्री कृष्ण वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णौ वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णौ वन्दे जगद्गुरुं जय श्री कृष्ण।
Thank you so much, Bhaiya, for the divine prayer. Now we shall go ahead towards the Deepak Prajwalan to kindle light guide us in our journey, for which I would like to invite Dr. Lali KG, who is from Kochi and is retired as Deputy Director from the Department of Collegiate Education, Kerala. Didi holds a PhD in chemistry and a MCA degree. Her interests include singing and chanting. In Gita Parivar, Lali ji has completed all levels as a sadhak, served as tech star at all levels, worked as group coordinator for level 1 and level 2, and also served as co-trainer for level 1 3 times. Didi has been associated with Gita Parivar since July 2024. Didi, kindly do the Deepak Prajwalan.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः.
Thank you so much, Didi, for taking us to the divine and beautiful presence of Viswarup Darshan. With the divine blessings of Bhagwan Sri Krishna, we are pleased to inform that the Gita Olympiad Grand Finale will be held on 1st March Sunday from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. and it will be streamed live on YouTube. We warmly invite every one of you to join the program and get the opportunity to play live quiz with our finalists. The next L1 batch begins from 13th March. If this journey with Gita Parivar has been transformative for you, having brought clarity and steadiness to your life, then do send these blessings to your friends and family across the globe. Registration is simple and open at joingita.com. Spread the message far and wide. And as knowledge blossoms into seva, you too can offer your seva through our Gita Sevi Bane program of Gita Parivar alongside over 50,000 dedicated sevis. To know more, please join the interactive Hindi session today at 8:30 p.m. Now comes the time of the session we are eagerly waiting for. It is my pleasure and honor to invite our respected senior trainer, Shri Vikas Vaidya Bhaiya, who holds a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering and postgraduate diploma in business management. Bhaiya lived as an NRI for 12 years, during which he traveled extensively across the world. He currently owns a small IT company in Pune. He is based in Pune and is multilingual with proficiency in Hindi, English, Marathi, Indonesian, Malaysian, and Spanish. For the past 5 years, Bhaiya has been reciting all the 18 adhyayas of Bhagavad Gita ji daily. He serves as a trainer in Gita Parivar for level 1 to level 4 and is actively involved in trainer selection and trainer training for the same levels. Vikas Bhaiya is also engaged in the teaching and vivechan of Vishnu Sahasranam as a member of Pune Gita Parivar. Additionally, he guides Gita Vratis in their preparation for the Shrungeri Pit examination. Bhaiya has appeared for the Gita contest examination at the Sringeri Pit and was awarded the first prize by Param Pujya Jagat Guru Sankaracharya. Bhaiya, kindly bless us with your vivid vivechan.
वसुदेवसुदं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं जय श्री कृष्ण. पूज्य स्वामी जी के चरण कमलों में कोटि कोटि नमन. A warm welcome to all of you. Today we'll take Nyas. then Prarthana, then Gita Mahatmya, then Atadhyanam shlokas, and then in the end, Kshama Prarthana. Some shlokas relate to Kshama Prarthana. So this is the last in the session for 18th Adhyay. It has no connection with 18th Adhyay as such, but this is the end of your L4 sessions. So this is Nyas. We'll start with Nyas first. Karanas Nyas and Hridyadi Nyas. Now what is Nyas? The first question that comes to our mind is, what is Nyas? Nyas in English literally means to deposit, to setting down. It is a concept in our Sanatana Dharma, Hinduism. It involves touching various parts of our body while chanting specific portions of Gita mantras, Gita shlokas. This imposition of mantras upon the body is considered as assigning or locating of divinity inside our body. Organs of our body allow us to experience the outside world, isn't it? Without organs, we cannot experience the outside world. Before we use those organs to pray or to worship, it's important to cleanse them. Our eyes see many bad things. Our ears hear many bad things. So before we use these organs for some divine purpose, we need to cleanse them. Senses that we experience through them should be pure and to the fullest. That is bliss. So before we start, it is important to cleanse the organs and the senses with which we will practice. Just like the utensils must be cleaned before making food, tools of our body must be cleaned before practicing bhakti. What are these tools? Our fingers that perform different rituals. Our senses of touch, smell, sight, hearing and taste. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. That procedure of cleansing is called Nyas. According to Oxford Dictionary, it means to place, to set in, to use, to touch. That is Nyas. It also connotes the mental purification or allocation of various body parts to guardian spirits. Guardian spirits. Way to perform the Nyas is to touch each organ, explicitly think of how it is useful for performing our day-to-day duties, and remind us that it must be pure to perform those duties in a proper way, the way they are intended to be. Nyas are embedded at the beginning of actual prayers. Before we start reading Bhagavad Gita, we have to perform Nyas. It is a prescribed procedure that one performs before starting a worship. Even when we have Satyanarayana Puja at home, we perform Nyas. Similarly, when we read Gita, we do Gita Prarthana, there is a procedure to perform Nyas. So at the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Nyas associates each organs with another mantras. Most of them are from chapter 2, because the chapter 2 is dedicated to Atma, the soul. So this is in brief about the Nyas. Now the question is it necessary to perform Nyas? We do Gita Parayana, we do Gita reading every day. So that means every day we should do Nyas? The answer is a plain simple no. It is not necessary. If you are doing Gita Pathan with a Nishkam Bhav, you are not asking any requirement, any favors from God. You are doing it for your own Manashanti, peace of mind. No expectation from Lord Krishna when you are reading Gita. You are doing it just for your own satisfaction. But if you happen to use your Parayan for some Sakam Sadhana, that God, I will do Gita Parayan today, but please, 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 I want this, I want that, then it becomes a Sakam Sadhana. And every Sakam Sadhana, you have to follow the rules of Karma Kanda. Cleanse the body with shower and cleanse the organs, senses, mind by loud recitation of specific mantras. So that is the Nyas which we need to perform. Now, the first is Karanas. Before reading Bhagavad Gita, it's a small purificatory ritual done with the hands. With hands. Its purpose is to sanctify the fingers and the palm. Because the hands will hold the sacred book of Bhagavad Gita in our hands, isn't it? And turns its pages with hands. So they should be purified. It prepares the mind, body to receive Gita Dhyan. Now, what is Karanas before we start reading Gita? Before beginning Gita Pathan, some traditions recite short mantras while touching each finger and palm. Why finger and palm? Because if you consult any acupuncture specialist, he will tell you that all our fingers are connected to the entire body, and there are specific points on our palm which, if you press, it energizes that particular organ. The acupressure specialist may say, if you go to him saying that I have a headache, then he may ask you to press somewhere here and all that. So those who have been to acupressure specialists, they will know what is the significance of our fingers and palm. So this is usually done with some shlokas from Gita. It is a small act of purification, concentration, and invoking divine energy in our hands. The idea is, my hands are now the instruments of Shri Krishna's wisdom. Now, why perform Karanas before Gita? To purify the karmendriyas, organs of action. Hands symbolize action. Gita teaches us karma yoga. So purifying the hands symbolizes sacred action of, before we qualify ourselves for reading Gita, because Gita is karma yoga and karmas are done by hands. To activate the awareness, touching fingers with a mantra brings the mind to the present moment. You are daydreaming or you are imagining something of past or future, touching the hands brings you in at present. Third, to invite the divine blessings of God. You are invoking Narayan, you are invoking Shri Krishna Bhagavan into your actions before opening the scripture of Bhagavad Gita. To protect from distraction, Nyas creates a subtle shield and improves focus on Gita study. In very simple words, Karanyas before reading Gita means purify the hands, invoke Lord Shri Krishna, begin Gita with sacred awareness. So this is in short about the Karanyas. Having discussed Karanyas, now we'll do Karanyas. You can kindly observe my hands and the movements, what I do, and the shlokas that I chant while doing Karanyas. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā अथ करन्यासः. ओम अस्य श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता माला मंत्रस्य भगवान् वेदव्यास ऋषिः अनुष्टुप् छन्दः श्रीकृष्णः परमात्मा देवता अशोच्यानन्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे इति बीजम् सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज इति शक्तिः अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुच इति कीलकम्. Now watch the hands. नैनै छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावका इत्यगुष्टाभ्यां नमः. When you say नैनै छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावकः इत्यगुष्टाभ्यां नमः, the index finger will roll on the thumb from bottom to top. इत्यगुष्टाभ्यां नमः, इत्यगुष्टाभ्यां नमः. नैनै छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावका इत्यगुष्टाभ्यां नमः. Then न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापो न शोषयति मारुता इति तर्जनीभ्यां नमः. See, the thumb will purify with the tarjani, but remaining four fingers will purify with our thumb rolling over them. So nainai chindanti shastrani, we rolled our index finger on our thumb. Nainai chindanti shastrani nainan dahati bhavaka ityagustabhyam namaha. And then na chainam kledayantyaapo na shoshayiti maruta iti tarjanibhyam namaha. So in the tarjanibhyam namaha, we roll our thumb on the index finger, tarjanibhyam namaha. Having purified our thumb and index finger, we go further to our madhyamya, madhyamabhyam namaha. अच्छेद्यो यमदाह्यो यम अक्लेद्यो शोष एव च इति मध्यमाभ्यां नमः. मध्यमा, मिडिल फिंगर, मध्यमाभ्यां नमः. अच्छेद्यो यमदाह्यो यम अक्लेद्यो शोष एव च इति मध्यमाभ्यां नमः. देन नित्य सर्वगत स्थाणुरचलो यम सनातन इत्यनामिकाभ्यां नमः. This is our anamika, ring finger, what we call it. So we have to purify this with this chanting of shloka. नित्य सर्वगत स्थाणुरचलोयम सनातन इत्यनामिकाभ्यां नमः. Then finger remaining is the small finger. पश्य मे पार्थरूपाणि शतशोतसहस्रशः इति कनिष्ठिकाभ्यां नमः. Kanishtika, the small finger. Pashya me partharupani shatashotahasrasha iti kanishtikabhyam namaha. Having purified all fingers, now we purify the palms. Nana vidhani divyani nana varna kritini cha iti karatala kara prushthabhyam namaha. Watch it again. Nana vidhani divyani nana varna kritini cha iti karatala kara prushthabhyam namaha. Iti karanyasaha. So this is karanyas in short. It may take a little long to explain it, but if you do it, it won't take more than 1 or 1.5 minutes. I will do it quickly without explaining anything. अथ करन्यासः ओम अस्य श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता माला मंत्रस्य भगवान् वेदव्यास ऋषिः अनुष्टुप्छन्दः श्रीकृष्णः परमात्मा देवता अशोच्यानन्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे इति बीजम् सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामैकं शरणं व्रज इति शक्तिः अहं त्वा सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचा इति कीलकम् नैनै छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावक इत्यगुष्टाभ्यां नमः न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापो न शुश्रूति मारुता इति तर्जनीभ्यां नमः अच्छेद्योऽयमदाह्योऽयम् अक्लिद्यो शोषयोज इति मध्यमाभ्यां नमः नित्यसर्वगतस्थाणुरचलोऽयं सनातन इत्यनामिकाभ्यां नमः पश्य मे पार्थरूपाणि शतशोतसहस्रशः इति कनिष्ठिकाभ्यां नमः नानाविधानि दिव्यानि नानावर्णाकृतीनि च इति करतलकरपृष्ठाभ्यां नमः इति करन्यासः. So it won't take much time. Having completed Karanyas, we'll go to Hridyadi Nyas, our heart, Hridyadi Nyas. Now, before we do the Hridyadi Nyas, we should understand what is Hridyadi Nyas. Before reading Bhagavad Gita, it is a short and sacred purification ritual in which we touch certain parts of the body, mainly the heart, the head, the shoulders, and the hands. It installs the energy of Gita, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, and the mantra into our body and mind system. So we can read Gita with purity, with concentration, and with devotion. So what is Hridyadi Nyas? Hridaya is heart. Hridaya is heart. Adi is starting with, beginning with. And Nyas we discuss, placing or establishing mantra energy in heart. So Hridyadi Nyas means touching the heart first, then other major centers of the body while reciting sacred mantras, shlokas from Bhagavad Gita. It is a part of Gita Dhyan ritual. And the shlokas what we chant with this are mainly from 2nd Adhyaya and some from 18th Adhyaya. So why do Hridyadi Nyas should we do it before reading Bhagavad Gita? Purification. Cleanses mind, senses, emotions before studying Bhagavad Gita. Invoking Krishna within us. You prepare the body as a temple for receiving the divine knowledge. Better concentration. Nyas grounds the mind and removes the distraction. And protection. Symbolically, it protects us by placing divine energy in vital centers of our body. So in simple words, Hridyadi Nyas, chanting of mantras while touching heart, head, shoulders, eyes, body for purification before reading Bhagavad Gita. Now, having known what is Hridyadi Nyas, we'll perform Hridyadi Nyas. How to perform it? Kindly observe my movements. Ath Hridyadi Nyasah, heart. Your right palm on the heart. Ath Hridyadi Nyasah, नैनै छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावका इति हृदया नमः न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापो न शुश्रूति मारुता इति शिरसे स्वाहा. शिरसे स्वाहा. अच्छेद्योऽयमदाह्योऽयम् अक्लेद्यो शोष एव च इति शिखाय वषट्. Shikhai Vashat. Shikhai is that place where the Panditji they put their chuti, no? So that place is Shikhai. So Shikhai Vashat. Nitya Sarvagata Sthanu Rachaloyam Sanatana iti Kavachaya Hum. You have to put both palms here and roll it around our body. Kavachaya Hum. We are creating a sacred sort of kavach around our body before we start reading Bhagavad Gita, so that we don't get distracted in the material world. Nitya sarvagata sthanu rachaloyam sanatana iti kavachaya hum. Kavachaya hum. Pashyame Partha Rupani Shatashota Sahasraja iti Netratrayaya Bhaushat. Netratrayaya Bhaushat. We have three netras, two here and one in the middle here. So Netratrayaya Bhaushat, we purify our two netras and third netra with chanting of the shloka. Pashyame Partha Rupani Shatashota Sahasraja iti Netratrayaya Bhaushat. Then Nana Vidhani Divyani Nana Varna Kritini Cha. Nana Vidhani Divyani Nana Varna Kritini Cha. Iti Astraya Phat. When we say Nana Vidhani Divyani Nana Varna Kritini Cha, we have to roll our hand. Some people say clockwise, some people say anti-clockwise. You have to roll your hand around your head. And then Astraya Phat. Astraya Phat is an announcement that our Nyas is over now. Now we say Shri Krishna Prityathe Pathe Vinyogaha. So this was the Nyas. I will do it again quickly. You'll see that it won't take more than a minute. Atha Hridyadi Nyas Nainai Chandanti Shastrani Nainandhati Pavaka Iti Hridaya Namaha Na Chainam Kledayantyapo Na Shoshiti Maruta Iti Chirusai Swaha Achedyo Yamadayo Yam Aklidyo Shosha Evacha Iti Shikaya Vashat Nitya Sarvagata Sthano Rachalo Yam Sanadana Iti Kavachayaham Pashyame Partha Rupani Shatashodha Sasha Iti Netraya Bhaushat Nana Vidhani Divyani Nana Varna Kritini Cheda Iti Astraya Phat Shri Krishna Prityarthe Pathe Vinyogaha. Now we read the Prarthana and we start to understand what is the meaning of this Prarthana that we read before reading of Bhagavad Gita. The Prarthana. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshiniim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaadhyayinim Ambattvamanusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim. This is the first shloka of our Prarthana. We'll try to understand what does it mean. Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavatam Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Puranamrina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshiniim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaadhyayinim Ambattvamanusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim. In simple English, it means I meditate upon Bhagavad Gita, which was taught by Lord Narayan himself to Arjuna, which was compiled by the ancient sage Maharishi Vedavyas and placed in the heart of Mahabharata, Madhya Mahabharatam. It is the Divine Mother, showering the nectar of Advait, Advaitamrita Varshinim, consisting of 18 chapters and destroying all worldly sorrows and fears. So, Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam, taught to Partha, to Arjuna, by the blessed Lord Narayan himself, Swayam. That means, Shri Krishna Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord Narayan, personally instructed Arjuna with this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Vyasena Grathitam Puranamrina Madhya Mahabharatam. Second line. Compiled by the ancient sage Purana Munna Maharishi Vedavyas, placed within Mahabharata, Madhya Mahabharatam. So Maharishi Vedavyas placed the Gita beautifully within the epic of Mahabharata. Advaitamrita Varshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashaadhyayinim. The Divine Mother who rains nectar of Advaita, oneness, Advaitamrita Varshinim, comprising 18 chapters, Advaita Amrita Varshinam, raining the nectar of non-duality. See, there are two words, Advait and Dvait. Dvait is, I am different, God is different. Advait is, me and God are same. We are not different. So that is Advaitavad. Advaitamrita Varshinim, the raining nectar of this non-duality. Oneness with the God. Bhagavatim, the divine scripture, Bhagavad Gita, Ashtadashaadhyayini, consisting of 18 chapters, as we know. So the Gita pours out the immortal nectar of spiritual unity and contains 18 chapters of divine wisdom. Next, Ambattva manasandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshinim. O Mother Bhagavad Gita, I meditate upon you, the destroyer of worldly suffering. Here Amba means the mother. Tvam Anusandhani means I meditate upon you. Then Bhagavad Gita is Bhagavad Gita. And Bhagavad Vaishnavi means destroyer of worldly sorrows or worldly existences. So that is, the meaning is, the devotee bows to Gita as the divine mother, Amba, who removes the bondage, ignorance and sorrow. So the entire summary of this Prarthana will be, I meditate on the sacred Bhagavad Gita taught by Lord Krishna himself, Narayan himself to Arjuna, compiled by sage Maharishi Vedavyas, placed in Mahabharata. This divine scripture, the mother showers the nectar of non-dual wisdom, Advaita, non-dual wisdom consisting of 18 chapters, and removes all sorrow and worldly bondage. So this is in short the Prarthana. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grihadam Puranam Rinam Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Vritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadhyachadhyayinim Ambatva Manusandami Bhagavad Gita Bhagavad. Second shloka of this Prarthana is Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullarvinda Yatapatra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharataila Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha. Namostute, namostu te, salutation to you. Vyasa, Maharishi Vedavyas, the sage who compiled Mahabharata. Vishala Buddhe, one of a vast and expansive intellect. Vishala Buddhe. Pulla Arvinda Ayata Patra Netra, whose eyes are wide and beautiful like fully blossomed lotus petals. Yena, by whom, Tvaya, by you, Bharataila Purnaha, filled with the oil, tail is oil, filled with the oil of the great Mahabharata. Prajvalit, Prajvalit is to lit, to ignite. Jnanamaya Pradipaha, the lamp of pure knowledge. So it means, the shloka reads, Namostu Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullarvinda Yatapatra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharataila Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha. Salutation to you, Maharishi Vedavyas, whose intellect is vast, Vishala Buddhe, and whose eyes are wide like petals of fully blossomed lotus. By you, the lamp of knowledge, filled with the oil of Mahabharata, has been lit and made to shine brightly. So this is the word-to-word meaning of this second shloka. The deeper meaning of this is, Maharishi Vedavyas' mind is compared to lotus, symbolizing purity and clarity. The Mahabharata is described as the oil that keeps the flame of knowledge burning. The lamp of knowledge is Bhagavad Gita itself, a shining light for the world. This shloka expresses gratitude to Maharishi Vedavyas for giving this eternal wisdom to the entire humanity. Third shloka, Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vaitraika Panaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gita Mrutuduhe Namaha. Prapanna Parijataya, to him who is like the wish-fulfilling celestial tree, Parijat, for all who surrender to him, Prapanna Parijataya. Totra Vaitraika Panaye, who holds in one hand the goad, that means the whip, and the stick symbolizes the gliding, the guiding, as a guidance to the devotee. So Totra Vaitraika Panaya, Pani is hand. Jnana Mudraya, this is Jnana Mudra. Jnana Mudraya Krishnaya, who shows the gesture of knowledge, this mudra, with other hand. So in one hand he has that stick, and in another hand Jnana Mudra. Krishna is Lord Krishna, of course. Gita Mrutudhe, the one who milked Duhe, the nectar of Bhagavad Gita. Namaha, I bow down, I offer my salutations. So the meaning of this shloka will be Prapanna Varijataya Totra Vaitraika Panaye Jnana Mudraya Krishnaya Gita Mrutudhe Namaha. Salutation to Lord Shri Krishna, who is like a wish-fulfilling tree to all who surrender to him, who holds the gourd and staff in his one hand and the gesture of knowledge in the other, and who has milked the immortal nectar of Bhagavad Gita for the upliftment of the world. The spiritual meaning of this shloka will be, Shri Krishna is the Parijat tree. You know the Parijat flower, no? Beautiful. So he is the Parijat tree fulfilling the deepest spiritual yearning for of a surrendered soul. The gourd and the staff symbolizes, staff is the stick in his hand, it symbolizes his role as the divine guide who lovingly directs the seekers. Jnana Mudra represents the highest knowledge. Gita Mritudah means Sri Krishna is the one who brought out the nectar of Gita from the ocean of Mahabharata for the humanity. Next shloka. Vasudeva Sudan Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. I bow down to Lord Krishna, the divine son of Vasudeva, the destroyer of tyrants like Kansa and Chanur, the supreme joy of his mother, Devaki Nandana, Devaki, and the teacher of entire universe, Jagat Guru. So Vasudeva Sutam. Sut is the son of Vasudeva. Vasudeva is Vasudam. Devam is the God, divine. Kaunsa Chanura Mardana. The crusher. Mardanam is crush, to slay. So the crusher, slayer of Kansa and Chanur. See, this refers to the episode of Krishna's early life. Kansa was his maternal uncle and oppressor. Chanur and other demons were the agents of Kansa. Shri Krishna's killing of Kansa marks the liberation of people from tyranny. Kansa often represents the adharma, unrighteousness, ignorance, and ego. Krishna as Mardanam implies divine action that destroys the evil and the ignorance. And the devotional emotion is, this line recalls the heroic protective aspect of Bhagavan Shri Krishna, the protector of righteousness. Devaki Paramanandam, supreme joy of Devaki. Devaki, Krishna's mother. Paramanandam, Param Ananda. Param is supreme, supreme bliss, ultimate joy. He who is the highest delight of Devaki, Paramananda. So devotional undertone of this line is, the sight of Krishna gives the parents and devotees transcendental joy. It also points to bhakti, loving devotion, as a path where emotional parental love becomes a vehicle for the divine. So Devaki Paramananda. Krishnam Vande. I salute, I bow down to Krishna. And Jagat Guru, he is a Jagat Guru, the world teacher, the teacher of the universe, Jagat Guru. See, this meaning, Krishna is not only a playful child or a heroic slayer, but he is Jagat Guru, the universal spiritual master. It connects Sri Krishna to roles like teacher of the Bhagavad Gita, cosmic guide, and the remover of spiritual ignorance for all beings. In many Bhakti and Vedanta traditions, Jagat Guru signals the one whose teachings reveal the ultimate truth and liberate the world. So this is Jagat Guru Bhagavan Shri Krishna. So this means I bow down to Krishna, the shlokas, and then the son of Vasudeva, Vasudeva Sudan Devam, Kamsuchanura Mardanam, Devaki Paramanandam, Krishnam Vande Jagaduram. I bow down to Krishna, the divine son of Vasudeva, the destroyer of tyrant Kansa and Chanur, supreme joy of his mother Devaki. I salute Shri Krishna, the world teacher, Jagadguru. It removes from the personal son of Vasudeva, delight of Devaki, to the public, historical, destroyer of tyrants, and then to the universal, Jagadguru. So starts with son of Vasudeva, then destroyer of tyrants like Kansa and Chanur, then the delight of Devaki Nanda, and then becoming Jagat Guru. This progression reflects how how the Bhakti poetry often blends love, heroism, and ultimate spiritual authority. Love, heroism, and ultimate spiritual authority in describing the God. So these all three qualities have been explained in this line. Next shloka. Bhishmadrona tata jayadratha gandhara nilotpala shalyagrahavati krupena vani karnena velakula ashwathama vikarna ghora makara duryodhana vartini sotirna khalu pandavairna nadi kaivartaka keshavaha. See, interesting. Bhishmadrona tata. Bhishmadrona as the banks, kinare. Jayadratha jala. Jayadratha jala. Jayadrath as water. Gandhara Nilotpala as blue lily. Gandhara, that means Shakuni, the prince of Gandhar, as the blue lily in that river. Shalya Grahavati, Shalya shark. Krupena Vahani, with Krupacharya as the speed of water's flow. Vahani. Karnena Velakula, with Karna as its breakers. Ashwathama Vikarna Ghora Makara. Ashwathama Vikarna as the killer whales in that river. Duryodhana Avardini. Duryodhana as the whirlpool. Sa Rananadi. That river of battle, Pandavai, by Pandavas, Khalu. Indeed, Uttirna was crossed over Kaivartaka, the boatman, being Keshava, Lord Krishna. With Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya as its banks, Bhishma Dronatata, Jayadrath as its water, Gandhara, that means Shakuni, as the blue lily, Shalya as the shark, Krupacharya as the speed of water's flow, Karna as its breakers, Ashwathama and Vikarna as its killer whales, and Duryodhana as its whirlpool. Whirlpool sucks everything, no? The river of battle was indeed crossed over by Pandavas because of the boatman, Lord Krishna. So Pandavas, Pandu's sons were 5 numbers, as we know. The oldest son was Yudhishthir, Dharmaraj. The second son was Bhima, then Arjun, who appears in Bhagavad Gita. Arjun was the third son. The fourth and fifth were Nakul and Sahadev. Now the river of battle. It is said Pandavas crossed the river of battle, Rananadi, which is described poetically in this shlok. Every river must have 2 banks, kinare hoti hai nadi ke, within which the water flows. Without banks, there would be no river at all. Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya are the 2 banks of this river of battle. Bhishma Drona, Bhishma, the Arjuna's grandfather, and he was the eldest in the family and a man of great vows. Bhishma Pratidnya. He was considered invincible even though he was an old man. Bhishmacharya was such a great warrior that he never lost a battle in his life. Only trickery could destroy him. That is what it happened in Mahabharata war. Shikhandi went in front of him, and that was the reason. So Dronacharya was a great archer, as we know. He was the guru of Arjuna. He taught the archery to Arjuna and his brothers as well as to his cousins. Duryodhana. Both Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya were in Duryodhana's ranks against Pandavas. Tragedy. Duryodhana took care of them during the 13 years that the Pandavas were in exile, and they were committed to the throne of Hastinapur. That's why they had to take necessarily the side of Kauravas. Duryodhana pampered them so much that they felt obliged to him, and he made sure that they felt obliged. Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya were his strength, and because of them, he thought he could win the war. He had one more important ally in Karna. Therefore, these 3 people were the indirect causes of this war. Without them, Duryodhana would definitely not venture into this Mahabharata war. Now, in a river, there are always whirlpools. Bhavra hota hai na nadi mein, whirlpool. In this shloka, Duryodhana is compared to that Bhavra, that whirlpool. because anyone who went near to him got sucked. Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya went to him, close to him, they got sucked by this whirlpool of Duryodhana. Once caught in a whirlpool, it is very difficult to get out. Like Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya could never get out. They all got sucked into his battle. Bhishmacharya, Dronacharya, Karna, his uncle, all of them got stuck because of this whirlpool of Duryodhana. Even though they were all very kind to Pandavas, Duryodhana was able to drag them into his grip because he was such a scheming person. Whirlpool. Duryodhana and other allies. See, although Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya were the banks of the river of this battle, the river would have been empty if Jayadratha, the water compared to Jayadratha, and his huge army had not been there. Jayadratha provided the manpower, and therefore it is described as the flowing water, Jayadratha. There are areas in the river where the water collects and remains. This is where the blue lilies grow, making the river not only beautiful but difficult to move through because of their entangling stalks. The prince of Gandhara, that means Shakuni, is referred to here as blue lily in that river. The river being described here was one that had sharks in it. Shalya is likened to the shark. It is called the great grabber. He was Karna's charioteer and was considered the greatest driver. The charioteer is very important in battle. We see it. He must have not only had great expertise in driving, but he must also encourage the warrior whose chariot he is driving. But during the battle of with Pandavas, Shalya discouraged Karna many occasions, as much as he could, because of a promise he had made earlier to Pandavas. So though he was charioteer of Karna, he always spoke insulting Karna. The current in this river was very fast. Its speed was provided by Krupacharya. Because of Karna, it was full of breakers. Ashwathama, the son of Dronacharya, was a great archer and also a killer. Vikarna was one of the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra. These two, Ashwathama and Vikarna, were the youngest and are described as killer whales. Crossing the river of battle, how was it possible for Pandavas? To cross such a terrible river is not easy. It is only possible by boat. You can't swim over. Swimming across is impossible because of all these whales, whirlpools, Makara, Duryodhana, all that, whirlpools and all that, and the breakers, Karna. Even a boat may not make it. There is, however, a way. If Krishna Bhagavan is the boatman, you can cross this river of samsara. We too face the various problems mentioned in this. We have whirlpool problems in our life. We have breaker problems in our life. We have hail problems in our life. All sorts of problems mentioned in this shloka are there in our life even today. If Lord Krishna becomes our boatman, then we can definitely make it. We can definitely cross over this samsara. Next shloka. Parasharya vachas sarojam amalangitar gandhotkadan nanakhyanaka kesaram harikatha sambodhana bodhitam loke sajjana shatpadairahara pepiyamanam muda Bhuyad Bharata Pankajam Kalimala Pradvamsina Shreyase. Parasharya Vacha Sarojam. Parasharya Vacha Sarojam, the lotus born of waters of the words of the son of Parashar. Who was son of Parashar? Maharishi Vedavyas. Gita Gandhotkatam. Having the Gita as its sweet fragrance. Nana Akyanakam Kesaram. With many stories at its statement in Mahabharata. Harikatha Sambodhana Abodhitam. Fully opened by the revealing stories of Lord Hari. Loke, in the world. Sajjana Shatpadai, by the honeybees who are right thinking people. Sajjan. Aharaha, day after day. Muda, happily. Pepiyamanam, being relished. Kalimala Pradvamsi, the destroyer of blemishes in Kali Yuga. Amalam, spotless. Bharata Pankajam, the lotus of Mahabharata. Na Shreyase, for our good. Bhuyat, maybe. So may the spotless lotus Mahabharata, born of the waters of the words of son of Parashara, that is Maharishi Vedavyas, having the meaning of Bhagavad Gita as its sweet fragrance, with its many stories as stamens, fully opened by the revealing stories of Lord Hari, released happily day after day by the honeybees who are the right thinking people of the world. This lotus of Mahabharata, which destroys the blemishes of Kali Yuga, may it be for our good. So in the praise of Mahabharata, this slok is for the praise of Mahabharata itself. It says, let it be for the good of all people. Let it be beautiful lotus epic for our moksha, liberation, the most desired end of our human life. It destroys all of the problems of Kali Yuga. Kali is that which is selfish. Any evil is called Kali. Kali Yuga is a yuga, a time period when people become easily caught up in their own likes and dislikes, rag and dvesh. That is Kali Yuga. Mahabharata has a number of guidelines for people to follow. It talks about ethics, personal, social, political values, and even logistics. The lotus that is Mahabharata, what kind of lotus is Mahabharata? Just like in any other lotus, it is born of water. It comes from water of words of Maharishi Vedavyas. This water of words springs from the mouth of Maharishi Vedavyas, the son of Parashar Rishi. Also, this word lotus is as clean as the lotus in the pond. It has strong, sweet fragrance of the meaning of Bhagavad Gita. A meaning is something silent sometimes. It is something that you understand. You can repeat a word because it is a sound, but its meaning is always silent, isn't it? You can see a flower, but the smell cannot be seen everywhere. You can only sense it. Similarly, the meaning of Bhagavad Gita makes the whole Mahabharata wrapped with fragrance. This epic is the lotus that exudes the fragrance of the meaning of Bhagavad Gita. There are many small stories in Mahabharata. We know umpty number of stories from Mahabharata. These stories are like the rows of stamens of the lotus. The stamens of the saffron flower are the most fragrant, whereas stamens of the lotus are known for their beauty. If the Gita is the fragrance of Mahabharata, then the stories are like the stamens of this impart the beauty to this lotus, to this Mahabharata. Because of Krishna's presence in Mahabharata, it is the Lord's story. It is Harikatha. Without it, Mahabharata would be a lotus that had not yet bloomed. The opening of the bud generally requires the sun. Here the Lord's story is the sun. It opens the Mahabharata with devotion. It provides the light necessary for its opening. The Gita is being enjoyed happily. People are drinking deeply from it, taking more and more day after day. And who are these people? They are likened to an insect with 6 legs, the honeybee, for instance. The human beings have 5 sense organs plus the thinking intellect. Sajjana Shatpadi Raharaha. Some extra intellect is necessary to extract the nectar from this epic flower that is called Bhagavad Gita. The people who enjoy the Gita are therefore thinking people, those who use their intellect. Let this Gita, which is the destroyer of all problems in Kali Yuga, of the problems caused by the likes and dislikes, Rag and Dvesh, be for the good of all people. Now the next shloka is in the praise of God, who says, I salute the God. The meaning of this shloka will be, I salute the God who is the all Ananda, joy, fullness, whose form and expressions are Ananda, who is Lord Krishna. Next shloka, Mugangarodi vachalam pangulangayate girim yat krupadamaham vande paramananda madhavam. Yat krupa, whose grace, mukam, the mute. Vachalam, eloquent. Karoti, makes. Pangum, the one who is lame. Girim, mountain. Langayate, to climb over, to scale. Tam, him. Paramananda Madhavam, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, the Lord of Lakshmi, whose nature is fullness. Aham Vande, I salute, I bow down. I salute Lord Shri Krishna, the Lord of Lakshmi, that means wealth, whose nature is fullness, whose kripa, grace, makes the mute eloquent and causes the lame to scale mountain tops. Madhava is another name of Lord Shri Krishna, as we know, one who has all the resources and wealth with him. Madhava, husband of Lakshmi. Who is Bhagwan, the Lord? I salute the one who is Madhava, Bhagwan, and whose expression and essential nature is fullness, Ananda. The Lord grace, this slok adds something more, grace, krupa. Grace is something that is earned. It is not something that the Lord randomly distributes day after day. No. If he did, he would be partial. जो भक्ति करता है उसको भी ग्रेस, जो नहीं करता उसको भी ग्रेस. That is not possible. No? That is not the case. Grace is a graceful expression of karma phala. Karma that you do, and phala is the result of what you do. So prayer is an action. Prayer is also a karma, an action. Because it is an action, it necessarily produces the result. The result is twofold. Seen, drashta phala, and unseen, adrushta phala. One example of this seen result is the psychological benefit of the prayer. The very fact that you are able to pray is itself a benefit. Also a result of prayer, there can be the psychological benefit, having someone upon whom you can rely. Any individual has limitations, whereas the one you pray to is looked upon by you as limitless. Even without understanding, the Lord is looked upon as someone who is omniscient, Sarvajnani. And what is omniscience? All-knowingness. The one who understands totally what it means to be omniscient, to be all-knowing. To understand all knowledge, you must be all-knowing. However, our knowledge is limited. Human being knowledge is limited. From this limited knowledge, we can always know a little more, but that also will be limited. What we can very easily understand, however, is the limitation in knowledge. This much we know, that our knowledge is limited. From that, we are also able to appreciate that the omniscient person is free from limitations with respect of knowledge. This is what is meant by having the appreciation of omniscience. Now, the result of prayer is a karma, as we said, and it produces immediate results, the visible result. That you are able to invoke Lord is a result with your prayers. You have someone to rely on. Someone who is all powerful, almighty, all knowledgeable. Thus, the immediate benefit of your experience, because you are able to pray, is that there is someone for you who is all knowledge, upon whom you can draw whenever and as much as you want. This is the drashta phala, the seen result you experience in our day-to-day prayer. This is also adrushta phala, unseen result of the prayer. This is what we call as grace. Grace is adrushta phala. Drashta phala we can experience in our life, but adrushta phala, grace of God, very few people can get that, which accounts for the benefits which we cannot attribute to the particular day's prayer. आज प्रार्थना की और ग्रेस मिल गया, ऐसा नहीं होता है ना. You do the prayer one day, you may get drashta phala, but adrushta phala, when it will be bestowed by God, we don't know. And how does it come to you? How does the grace come to us? Grace is earned in the same way as that you earn anything else. Since you are not able to relate an unseen result to a given course of action on your part in the immediate past, we are constrained to call it this result as grace. We don't know why it has come. Past we might have done some punya karma. This grace is able to convert a mute into a person who is eloquent. Mukhaṁ karoti vachalam. Enables a lame person to climb a mountain. Pangul langayate girim. This is the grace. This is the adruštaphalam. Kalidas, the celebrated poet, was considered to be a mute, but because of grace, he began pouring out verses, shloka after shlokas. Similarly, Valmiki, we know, famous, became a great poet out of grace. In day-to-day life, we often hear various stories of the disappearance of incurable diseases. In Gita Pariwar, we have experienced many people who are not able to speak, but after learning Bhagavad Gita, their pronunciation has become very clear. Cancer suddenly vanishes because of grace of God, and no one knows how. We call it grace because the causes are not known to human mind. You can call such happenings as grace, accident or chance, whatever you call it. But it is the grace of God. However, a perceptive person with a certain maturity and understanding of Ishvara appreciates these as unseen results of what we call as grace, adruštapal. So this is the invisible result of the prayer. In a prayer, what you really release is an invisible force causing the adruštapala, the unseen result. The very system, the laws that produce certain results which are not visible to us are reorganized by prayer. Certain elements are introduced through prayer into this invisible system, causing it to reorganize itself. However, we do not know how it will be reorganized. That is why the results are said to be caused by the grace of God. And grace, therefore, is something that we receive purely as a result of our own karma. Actions done either in our immediate past or in the remote past. कब किया है पता नहीं. Because of this result, this grace, certain situations happen in our favor. Sometimes we also get surprised how it has happened. What is generally taken as impossible is made possible by the grace of God. In fact, all life is like that. The impossible is made possible because of grace of God. So with this cloak, I salute Bhagwan, the one by whose grace the mute becomes eloquent and lame scales the mountain tops. Mukham karoti vachalam pangul langayate girim. By whose grace the impossible is made possible. Okay, we'll proceed with Gita Mahatmya now. Gita shasmidam punyam yah patet pretah paman Vishnah padamavapnoti bhaishokadi varjitaha. Simple meaning is, this sacred scripture, Bhagavad Gita, whoever studies it with devotion and sincerity, attains the supreme abode of Lord Vishnu and becomes free from fear, sorrow and mental suffering. Bhaishokadi varjitaha. So Gita is holy and purifying, punyam. Whoever reads it with pure heart and attention, paretat, vahet, is blessed with the highest spiritual state of Lord Vishnu, Vishnu padamavapnoti, and is freed from fear, grief and inner disturbances. Bhayashoka adi varjitaha. Next shloka. Gita shasmidam punyah patit peta puman Vishnu padamavapnoti bhayashoka adi varjitaha. This we have read already. Gita shasmidam punyah patit peta puman Vishnu padamavapnoti. This we have read. Now next shloka. गीतादेन शीलस्य प्राणायामपरस्य च नैव सन्ति पापानि पूर्वजन्मकृतानि च. गीतादेन शीलस्य, Gita, Bhagavad Gita, Adhyayan, study, शीलस्य, of the one who has the habit or who is devoted to, of a person who is regularly studies Gita, is that शीलस्य, गीतादेन शीलस्य. प्राणायामपरस्य च, pranayam, the breath control, parasya, devoted to, engaged into, of one who is devoted to pranayam practice. Naiva santi papani. So for one who is devoted to Gita study and to pranayam, there indeed remains no sins, neither those done now or those committed in the previous births. Everything gets washed out. Next shloka. Malanirmochanam punsam jalasnanam dine dine sakrut gitam vasisnanam samsaramalanashanam. Now this shloka of Gita Mahatmya, it contains two kinds of purification. one that cleans the body and one that cleans the soul. It touches that, it teaches us that while physical cleanliness is important, of course, yes, the purification of inner self, soul, is far more essential, because the real self, the real cause of suffering and bondage lies within us, not outside. Malanirimojanam Pumsai. The first line refers to the dust, the grime that gather on our external body, the dirt. Every day we move through the outside world, and our skin accumulates sweat, dust, waste, isn't it? Pollution, so much pollution is there now. This is a reminder of a universal truth. Living in the physical world naturally causes physical impurity. It cannot be avoided. It is the nature of human body. In the deeper symbolic sense, this pausa is, it also represents the minor, everyday disturbances of life. Stress, irritation, physical fatigue. This can be washed away by simple actions like taking rest, bathing, or grooming. They are superficial and temporary. But this line indirectly hints at the external impurity is the least of our problems. Main problem is our internal impurity. Jalasnanam dine dine, by bathing in water daily. This shloka acknowledges that daily cleansing is necessary. Bathing restores freshness and hygiene, and is a discipline that keeps us fit. Just as we bathe daily, the slok implies that the spiritual practices do require regularity and mindfulness. But there is a subtle contrast. Although we take bath every day, the results are temporary. The dust returns again. Isn't it? Dust ना लिया तो क्या जिंदगी भर के लिए साफ हो गया क्या? Every day we have to take bath because the dust returns, and again we have to wash it. This introduces the idea of material purification is endless. Material purification is endless because it deals with body which is impermanent. Sakrut Gita Snanam. But a single bath in the water of Gita. Here the shloka rises from the physical to spiritual plane. Gita Ambasha, the waters of Gita. Water here is symbolic. Water purifies, it cools, it nourishes the life. So does Bhagavad Gita. But on the spiritual level, one who immerses his mind even once in the teachings of Gita experiences a cleansing much deeper than the physical bath can offer. It can be offered. Why Sakrut? Just once. Because even a brief touch of the true wisdom can transform a person. Even one shloka understood deeply, one moment of clarity, one instant of realization can alter the direction of entire lifetime. The Gita does not demand anything extraordinary. Just once. One sincere dip. Take one sincere dip in Gita. That is the Gita's expectation in the wisdom of Bhagavad Gita. This does not mean you should read it only once. Instead, the shlokas says that even a little sincere study is powerful. That is what we have to take meaning of this. You have to read Gita every day, of course. Samsara malanashanam, destroy the impurities of worldly existence. This is the heart of this shloka. Samsara malanashanam. What is samsara mala? The dirt of worldly life. It is not physical dust, but the accumulation of desires with no end. Anger that rises without control. Fear of loss and failure. Attachments that bind. Ignorance of who we truly are. Ego that binds us, and past karmic impressions that follow us, our purva samskars. These impurities are subtle but very heavy. They weigh down on our mind and make our life feel very difficult, repetitive and tiring. Unlike physical dirt, they cannot be washed away by water, unfortunately. This shloka declares that Gita is the purifier of these deeper impurities of human beings. How does Gita purify the mind? It teaches the difference between the self and body, the nature of permanent and impermanent, how to act without attachment, how to remain peaceful in success and failure, the reality of soul beyond birth and death, the presence of divine within us. You must be correlating the shlokas which give this message in Bhagavad Gita. These teachings slowly dissolve confusion, ego, fear, desire, the true stains of our samsara. Just as light automatically removes the darkness, wisdom of Bhagavad Gita automatically removes all inner impurities of human life. Why is this purification superior? Bhagavad Gita's way of cleansing is superior. Because physical dirt returns every day, but spiritual impurities reduce permanently. Study of Gita reduce your impurities permanently. Physical taking bath refreshes only the body. Gita bathing refreshes the soul, which we really are. Water purifies for a moment. Wisdom purifies for the whole lifetime. The ultimate message is purify the body every day, but purify the soul with Gita. Even one sincere dip in Bhagavad Gita wisdom wash away lifetimes of inner impurities. Next shloka. Gita sugita kartavya kimanne shastra vistarehi ya swayam padmanabhasya mukhapadmadvini smrita. This shloka from Gita Mahatmya is one of the most, celebrated declarations of Bhagavad Gita's supreme position among all spiritual texts. It explains why Bhagavad Gita deserves special attention. Even when there are thousands of scriptures available, each profound in its own way, Bhagavad Gita is super special. Through poetic language, the shloka conveys four powerful ideas: necessity, sufficiency, divinity, and direct revelation. Gita Sugita Kartavya. Gita must be studied properly. The shloka does not say Gita Kartavya, it adds Sugita, means rightly understood, properly interpreted, studied with devotion, grasped with the correct depth, and absorbed with clarity of mind. Many of us, we read Gita casually. People sit on sofa set and read Gita, one eye is on the TV. Like any other book they read, without entering into the inner meaning of Bhagavad Gita. This shloka warns against that superficial approach of studying Gita. It asks the seeker to make the Gita as Sugita, well understood and deeply digested. That is Sugita. To study Gita means not just reading the Sanskrit, Ucharan, or even memorizing the shlokas. It means allowing the teachings to transform one's life. Pujya Swamiji always says, Gita padhe padhaye aur jivan mein laye. That is Sugita. Actions, choices, and inner attitudes must be changed with study of Gita. It is possible to recite Gita daily and yet remain unchanged. Many people read Gita every day, but if you see their behavior, they have not changed at all. That is not Sugita then. But when the Gita becomes Sugita, grasped with correct understanding, the entire life begins to shift towards clarity and peace. Thus, the instruction is not mere reading, but reading with sincerity, reading with reflection, reading with humility. That is Sugita. Kimanne Shastra Vistaraihi. What is the need of other vast scriptures? Kimanne Shastra Vistaraihi. This is not a condemnation of other scriptures. Rather, it is a profound observation. The human mind is easily overwhelmed by too many spiritual pathways. Many people who study Gita in Gita Pariwar, they complete L4 and they say, हम आगे क्या करें? Which other thing we should study? Which other thing we should learn? हमको ये स्तोत्र सीखना है, वो स्तोत्र सीखना है. I always tell them, studying of Gita is enough. Go deep, as much deep as possible in Bhagavad Gita only. No need to run here and there. This shloka therefore comforts the seeker. You do not need to master everything. One scripture, the Gita, is enough. Kimanne Shastra Vistaraihi. Because it contains the essential of Upanishads. It resolves the philosophical contradictions. It offers the practical guidance on how to live, how to act, how to think. It suits people of all temperament. Devotional, intellectual, action-oriented, contemplative, all types of people. It addresses daily challenges of life: anger, grief, fear, doubt, confusion. It is a complete pathway for liberation. Bhagavad Gita. Thus, the vastness of other scriptures becomes unnecessary for one who truly understands Bhagavad Gita. This statement reflects the spiritual boldness. Depths matter more than the quantity. You may be knowing 10 stotras, but depth is what matters. One scripture understood deeply is better than 100 read superficially. You may be chanting 100 stotras every day, but Bhagavad Gita, you go deeply into one scripture, more than enough. No need to read 100 stotras superficially. Ya Swayam Padmanabhasya, because this Gita comes directly from the Lord Padmanabh himself. Here the slok reveals the authority of Bhagavad Gita. Padmanabh, another name of Lord Vishnu, refers to the divine form whose navel the cosmic lotus emerges. In Bhagavad Gita context, it signifies the supreme, omnipresent consciousness. This shloka affirms that the Gita is not a human philosophical composition nor a later commentary by sages. It is a Shruti, like wisdom, knowledge that originates from the divine itself. Padmanabha Swayam. Shri Krishna's teachings to Arjuna are not merely advice for a warrior in crisis. They are universal laws of the soul, spoken by the eternal divine being. Because Gita originates from the source of cosmic intelligence, it carries transforming power greater than ordinary literature. Mukha Padmad Vinisprata, it flowed from the lotus mouth of Lord. The lotus represents purity, beauty, transcendence. The lotus mouth symbolizes the speech arising from perfect purity and compassion. The Gita flowed from that mouth, meaning it emerged spontaneously, not through calculation or effort. The teachings of Bhagavad Gita were not pre-planned lectures. They arose naturally from the compassionate heart of Lord when Arjuna was lost in the sorrow. Hence, Gita is a divine grace in verbal form. We saw grace as Adrushtaphala. This is a Drushtaphala. Gita's grace is a Drushtaphala. Words spoken to remove the confusion, despair, and inner darkness. Every slok contains the Lord's infinite compassion, clarity born out of perfect wisdom, power to remove sorrow and fear, guidance toward duty and liberation. Because this divine origin, the Gita is unique among all spiritual texts. Conclusion is why this slok matters today. In a world overflowing with information, spirituality too has become scattered and confusing. People don't know what exactly to study. People jump from one book to another, from one teacher to another teacher, without grounding themselves in one stable foundation. This shloka teaches us, hold on to Gita, don't run around here and there, understand it correctly, live it deeply. It contains everything you need in your life. The Gita is not one scripture among many, it is the distilled essence of all scriptures, the heart of Vedic tradition, the compassionate voice of the divine, guiding humanity towards freedom. So this is Bhagavad Gita. Gita is called Sugita because it is a perfect divine song. Okay, next. Yes, Swam Padmanabhasya, Mukha Padmadvini Smrita, we have done it. Bharatam Prasarasam, Vishnu Bhaktadmi Smritam. The Gita is the essence of Mahabharata, the distilled spiritual nectar. Daily life application of this is, life is full of stories, experiences, teachings, but focus on the essence, truth, duty, devotion, selfless action. Don't get lost in trivial details. Gita Gangodakam Pitva Punarjanmana Vidyati. Like drinking holy waters of Ganga, imbibing Gita's wisdom purifies the mind and soul. How to apply it? Regular reflection, study, practice of spiritual principles lead to inner peace. Liberation from worry, from greed, from ego. So make it a habit to read a shloka of Bhagavad Gita every day. Meditate upon it. Do contemplation, manan chintan, and apply it in small daily actions. Patience, compassion, truthfulness. Apply this in your day-to-day behavior. Over time, these small steps lead to freedom from mental bondage, from stress and restlessness. So overall spiritual insight for daily life is simplicity over complexity. Focus on the essence of wisdom rather than endless theories. So start your day with reflection. Gita Sugita. Gita is a perfect divine song. It contains the essence of spiritual wisdom. Practice daily. Take 2 to 5 minutes. Pause for inner reflection every day. Or prayers for the decision. Ask, what would be righteous, truthful, and compassionate for me to do today? Example, at work, before responding to a difficult email, pause and choose words that are honest but kind. Take a pause. Focus on essence. Vardamrut Sarvasam. Shloka insight. So Gita is a distilled essence of Mahabharata, prioritizes the essentials over trivialities. So as I said, spend some time daily reading of Bhagavad Gita, meditating, thinking about Gita shlokas that we study in the class. Next. Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Geetameko Devo Devaki Putra Eka. Eko Mantra Tasya Namani Ani Karma Pekantasya Devasya Seva. Ekam Shastram. The one supreme scripture, Ekam Shastram, spiritual insight. Among countless spiritual texts, Bhagavad Gita is complete, sufficient, and timeless. It contains guidance on duty, karma, knowledge, jnana, and devotion, bhakti. Daily application in life will be focus on core principle rather than being confused by too many philosophies in life. Treat Gita as the practical guide for daily decisions, not just as a theoretical book. When facing moral or ethical choices, refer to the principles like truthfulness, duty, and detachment, which are taught by Gita. Use Gita's teachings as a compass rather than seeking external validation constantly. Compass is one which gives us the direction. Devaki Putram Geetam, spoken by the son of Devaki. That is Lord Krishna. The Gita is divinely spoken. It comes from the conscious, compassionate, and enlightened source, Bhagavan Shri Krishna. The speaker, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, exemplifies wisdom, courage, and righteousness. Trust that spiritual guidance comes from the higher source within us. Seek to emulate Krishna's qualities in our own life. That should be the purpose of reading Gita. Calmness under pressure, fairness, and clarity in our action. In conflicts, instead of reacting emotionally, take a pause. Respond with clarity and balance, like Krishna's teachings to Arjuna on the battlefield. Eko Devam, the one supreme God. Krishna is not just a teacher, he is the supreme being, the source of all guidance and support in life. Recognizing the divine in our life brings confidence, surrender, and purpose. Begin each day with a moment of devotion or gratitude to the Supreme, acknowledging that you are guided by Him only. Cultivate the faith that challenges are opportunities for growth and divine guidance is always available through Bhagavad Gita. Before a stressful presentation or task, mentally offer it to the divine. Let me do my duty wholeheartedly, and I trust the outcome is in the divine hands. Karmanyavadikaraste. Devaki Putram, son of Devaki. This is a reiteration, of course. The repetition emphasizes Krishna's human form, Devaki Putra. He is both God and relatable as a guide in human life. Apply the Gita in everyday situations, whether it is family, work, or relationships. Remember, the divine guidance is not just for meditation, but for the action in real life, real human life. Devaki Putra. Helping a friend selflessly, making ethical choices at work, maintaining patience with family. These are all the ways to live the teachings practically. Because Devaki Putra is also human being, no? Overall daily takeaways for us from Bhagavad Gita is focus on essentials. The Gita is sufficient. Don't get lost in endless text or advices. Divine guidance is available. Trust your conscious and higher wisdom. Act with righteousness. Align your actions with duty, truth, and compassion. Integrate spirituality in life. Spirituality is practical, not just theoretical. Surrender results. Work diligently, but let go of attachment to the outcomes. In short, this shloka reminds us that by living according to the divine teachings of Bhagavan Shri Krishna in Gita, every action, every thought, every decision can be guided towards the truth, balance, and inner peace, transforming daily life into a spiritual practice. Eko mantrasya namani karma pikan tasya devasya seva. This is also a praise of Bhagavad Gita, or a general Vedic statement about spiritual focus. Eko mantrasya, the one mantra or the supreme teaching. Namani, names. Yani, which. Karma pekam, single or focused action. Tasya devasya seva is the service to that deity, or by doing this, one serves the Lord. So, one mantra, one name, and one action, by dedicating it sincerely, it becomes the service of the Supreme Lord. Only one mantra. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. One mantra is enough. When devotee focuses on one sacred mantra, one divine name, or one dedicated action, it is equivalent to serving the God directly. If you got a Guru mantra from your Guru, that mantra is the only one which we need to chant. Eko mantrasya. Spiritual focus must be simple and singular rather than scattered. Eko mantrasya. There are 1000 mantras. You can't chant every mantra. What mantra is given by your Guru is Eko mantrasya for us. Just as Shri Krishna emphasized in the Gita, concentration on one path of devotion, knowledge, or action, it brings results. No need to chant hundreds of mantras every day. One mantra, Eko mantrasya. Karma pekan, even daily duties karma, when done with focus, devotion, and consciousness of God, become a spiritual service. Tasya devasya seva. In a dedicated single-minded act, be it mantra chanting, meditating on God, or selfless work, is recognized as seva, service to the God. So, Eko mantrasya namani ani karma pikan tasya devasya seva. How to apply it in the daily life? Eko mantrasya namani ani karma pikan. Pick one mantra. As I said, if given by your Guru, best. One sacred name. The mantra will have the name which you want to meditate upon, which you want to chant. One dedicated action. To select one spiritual practice to focus on consistently. For example, a short Gita shlok to read every morning. Single mantra like Om Namah Shivaya or Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya to chant daily. Only one mantra, not hundreds. One dedicated daily action like helping family, volunteering, and mindful work. Start small. Don't start a big way. Start small steps. Consistency is more important than quality. Today you are doing 1000 names chanting. Tomorrow you don't do anything. That is not allowed. Even if you do one mala every day, do it regularly, consistently. So karma pikan, even ordinary action can be spiritual if done with full awareness. Whatever task we do, whether it is cooking, cleaning, working, studying, do it mindfully. It is an offering to the divine. Then it becomes karma pikam. Avoid multitasking mindlessly. Concentrate fully on one action at a time. While writing emails or reports at work, silently dedicate it to God or Lord Krishna, thinking, may this work serve a higher purpose and be done with integrity. all that action becomes a divine action then. So these are all the small steps which we can learn from these shlokas. Pick one practice, mantra, action, or devotional task. Focus fully, do it mindfully, without distraction. Dedicate it to God. All actions become seva, divine service. Reflect daily, review and refine your focus every day. Consistency matters more than the quantity. By applying this, ordinary life becomes spiritual life. Ordinary work becomes sacred, and you gradually experience the peace, the purpose, and the divine connection. So this was the end of Gita Mahatmya. Now Atadhyanam. There are a couple of shlokas of Atadhyanam. Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gaganasarusham Meghavarnam Shubhangam Lakshmi Kantam Kamalanayana Yogivirdhyanagambhyam Vande Vishnum Bhavabhayaharam Sarvalokaiganatam. Shantakaram. These are all the names of Lord Krishna, Lord Shri Vishnu. Shantakaram, the one whose very form is peace itself. Vishnu's presence brings calmness and serenity. Those who have studied Vishnu Sahasranam, they will know all about the magical names of Lord Vishnu and their meanings. Bhujagashayanam, who reclines upon the serpent Adishesha. He rests peacefully on the cosmic serpent, symbolizing infinity. Padmanabham, from whose navel springs the lotus, on which Brahmadeva is born. Symbol of creation emerging from the divine is this Padmanabham. Suresham, Sura Isha, Lord of gods. Vishwadharam, the support of entire universe. All creation rests on him, so he is Vishwadharam. Gagana Sadrusham, he who is like infinite sky, unbound, all pervading like sky. Meghavarnam, who has the complexion of dark rain clouds, a symbol of depth, a symbol of compassion, and symbol of beauty. Shubhangam, whose form is auspicious and beautiful. Lakshmi Kantam, beloved goddess Lakshmi, is a beloved of goddess Lakshmi. Lakshmi Kantam, the lords of prosperity, fortune, and abundance, Lakshmi Kantam. Kamalanayanam, lotus-eyed one, eyes full of compassion and purity. Yogivir Dhyanagamyam, reachable by yogis only through deep meditation. Yogivir Dhyanagamyam, ध्यान लगाएंगे तो गम्य उनको प्राप्त कर सकते हैं. He is realized through inner contemplation, meditation. Vande Vishnu, I bow down to Lord Vishnu. Bhava Bhaya Haram, the remover of fear of worldly existence, suffering, rebirth. That is Bhava Bhaya Haram. Sarvalokaikanātham, the Supreme Lord of all worlds, Sarvalokaikanātham. So, Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham, full meaning will be, I bow down to Lord Vishnu, whose very nature is peace, Shantakaram, who reclines upon the serpent Ananta, Bhujagashayanam, from whose navel springs lotus of creation, Padmanabham, Lord of all lords, Suresham, support of the universe, vast like sky, dark as rain clouds, and auspicious in the form, the beloved of Lakshmi, lotus-eyed, attainable through deep meditation by yogis, Yogivir Dhyanagamyam. He removes the fear of worldly existence and is the sole master of all worlds. Next, Yatadhanam shlok is Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marudastun Vandiri Vaistavait Vedai Sangha Padakramo Panishadayir Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastadgatena Manasa Pashanti Yogino Yasyantanna Vidusvara Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. So Brahma is Brahmadi, Brahmadev, Varuna, Indra, Rudra, Maruta. Self-explanatory. Varuna, Indra, Rudra, Maruta. Divi Stavai, with divine hymns of praise. Yam, whom, Stuvanti, praise. Samagaha, the singer of Samaveda. Vedai, by Vedas. Sangha, Upada, Krama, Upanishadai. Along with the Upanishads and the limbs of chanting such as Pada, Karma and so on. Gayanti, to sing in praise. Yeah, of whom yoginaha, the contemplative yogis, dhyana avasthita tata katena manasa, with a mind dissolved in him in a state of meditation. Yeah, whom pashyanti, see clearly. Sura asura ganai, the celestial as well as demons. Yasya antam, whose nature na vidu, do not know. Tasmai devaya, unto him the Lord Namaha, my salutations. To the Lord about whom Brahma, Varuna, Indra, Rudra, and Maruta Devatas praise with divine hymns. Yam Brahma, Varuni, Rudra, Maruta Stunvandi Devastai. The one whom singers of Samaveda praise by singing with full complement of limbs of singing in order of Pada and Krama and the Upanishada, the one whom contemplative people see with minds resolved in him in a state of meditation, whose nature the celestials and demons do not know. Unto him, the Lord, my salutations. Yam Brahma Vrinindrudhamata Stunanti Devaistavir Vede Sangabada Krama Parishadir Gayantiyam Samagaha Dhyana Vastadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yagno Yasyantan Vidusura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Can discuss detailed meaning of this, but time is not there, so we go to our next, the last of this, the Kshama Prarthana. Kshama Prarthana, why we did Kshama Prarthana? Because after reading the entire Bhagavad Gita, 700 shlokas, we are all human beings. We might make mistakes, no? Raspa ka dirgha ho sakta hai, avagra we don't take, or the aghat we don't take. Many mistakes can happen. Even those who are who have learned by heart all 18 adhyayas of Gita, if they read every day, some mistake creeps in. You can't avoid it. So, Kshama Prarthana. Yasya smrutya jana amoktya tapo yajna kriyadishu nyunam sampurnatam ayati sadyo vandetam achyutam. By merely remembering him or uttering his divine name, any austerity, sacrifice, ritual, or righteous action, even if it is incomplete, imperfect, or deficient, becomes complete. Yasya smrutya namoktya tapo yajna kriyadishu nyunam sampurnatam ati sadye vande tama achyutam. So sadhya means even if it is incomplete, imperfect, deficient, becomes complete and fruitful at once. I bow down to that infallible Lord Achyuta. So yasya smrutya, by remembering whom, the shloka says that the remembrance of Lord has extraordinary power. Even fleeting thought of God purifies the mind, elevates the heart, and fills actions with sanctity. Cha namoktya. And by uttering whose name, chanting the divine name itself becomes a purifier and protector for us. Whether the name is taken with full devotion or even casually, it carries the Lord's grace and brings spiritual upliftment. Cha namoktya. Tapo yajna kriyadishu, in austerities, tapas, in sacrifices, in yajnas, and all other sattvic righteous actions. All kinds of spiritual practices, tapa, penance, charity, rituals, worship, usually require discipline and correctness for the full benefit. But Lord's name has the power to sanctify all of them. Even if there is some lacuna here and there, Lord's name can take care of all. Nyunam sampurnataya. The incomplete becomes complete. If a ritual is done incorrectly, if a prayer lacks concentration, if a vow is not perfectly kept, remembrance of God compensates all shortcomings. The Lord completes the deficiencies of his devotees. The humblest becomes the perfect when his name is invoked. Sadhyo, immediately, instantly. The transformation is instantaneous. No delay, no condition, no elaborate processes. Vandetam achyutam. I bow down to that infallible Lord Achyut. O Lord Achyut, you never fail in your grace. I bow down to you, who perfects my imperfect efforts. The essence of this shloka is, we may be imperfect, our rituals may be faulty, our meditation may wander here and there, our discipline may be weak, but God's name perfects what is imperfect. What we lack in devotion, discipline, and purity, He completes with His grace. It reminds us the power of God's name is greater than the power of our actions. Where human efforts end, divine grace begins. So without Him, it would be there would be no Gita then. Now next shloka of this Kshama Prarthana is Yadaksharam padabhrashtam matrahinancha yad bhavet tat sarvam kshamyatam deva narayana namostute. Yat aksharam, whatever letters, padabhrashtam, whatever words were wrongly pronounced during reading of Bhagavad Gita, mantrahinam, whatever syllable, bow, lengths were recited incorrectly, matrahinam, cha yad bhavet, and whatever mistakes have occurred, tat sarvam kshamyatam devo, may all that be forgiven. Deva, O Divine Lord, Narayana, Lord Narayan, Namostute, salutation to you, I bow down to you. So, O Lord Narayan, whatever letters I mispronounced, whatever words I spoke incorrectly, and whatever mistakes occurred in the syllable or chanting Matrahina, please forgive them all. My salutations to you. Purpose of this sloka is humbly acknowledge any mistakes in chanting. Be honest. Acknowledge. Purify the act of reading or reciting the scriptures. Express surrender and devotion. Request divine forgiveness for imperfections. It reflects humility and respect towards the sacred knowledge. Visarga bindu matrani padavadaksharaani cho nyunani chatirikta kshamasva parameshvaro. Visarga, the two dots that come, that is visarga, sound, half a sound, bindu, the nasal, the anuswar, matrani, the vowel length or syllable, matra, pada, words, pada, the parts of word, charan, sharan, aksharani, letters or syllables, nirani, wherever it is less, incomplete or omitted, cha, and atiriktani, wherever was taken extra, excessive or wrong, kshamasva, please forgive, Parameshwara, O Supreme Lord. O Supreme Lord, please forgive any mistakes I may have made in pronouncing the visarga sounds, the nasal dots, anuswar, the vowel lengths, matra, words, phrases, or letters, as well as anything I recited less, left incomplete, or added incorrectly. Please forgive me. Purpose of this shloka is, it is a humble purification prayer recited after chanting scriptures like Bhagavad Gita or any stotra for that matter. Because our Sanskrit is not so perfect. Even Sanskrit scholars can make mistakes. To admit human imperfections in chanting, to seek forgiveness for wrong letters, missyllables, incorrect vowel lengths, extra words, incomplete chanting. It expresses the humility and devotion towards Bhagavad Gita when we read the shlok at the end of our Gita Parayan. So with this, the entire syllabus of Nyas is over. We have completed Nyas, Karanas, Hridyadi Nyas, Prarthana, Gita Mahatmya, then Atadhyanam shlokas, and this Kshama Prarthana. Thank you so much for your patience. Now the session is open for your questions. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you so much, Vaidya, for explaining the rituals and shlokas, such clarity and patience. Here's our as I mentioned earlier, that the Gita Olympiad Grand Finale will be held on 1st March Sunday, and it will be live streamed on YouTube from 7 p.m., 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. So please go join and get the opportunity to play live quiz with our finalists. And also, the next L1 batch begins on 13th March. If this journey with Gita Pariwar has been transformative for you and have brought clarity and steadiness to your life, please do share the link of joingita.com to your friends and family across the globe. With this, I request our sadhaks to raise hands and turn on their video cameras if you want to seek clarification and ask questions from Vikas Bhaiya. Kindly raise your hands.
Feel free to ask your questions if you have any, or if you want to reserve your questions, you can reserve for the next session. Choice is yours.
I don't think that anybody has any doubt here.
Okay, fine.
So can we?
Yeah, let us proceed with the Prarthana, ending Prarthana and Hanuman Chalisa.
Sitting towards the end, we will first take the Samapan Pratna, which will be done by Nagaraja Kumar VSS Mella Cherubuji, who is from Hyderabad and is a retired bank officer. He holds a BSc and MA in Hindi and is currently learning Sanskrit from Samskrut Bharati while preparing for the Parichaya and Gita Sopanam exams. His interests include explaining Sataka Padyas, Siva Mahapuran, and Lalita Sahasranam Vivaran on WhatsApp. He serves Gita Pariwar as a technical assistant and group coordinator and has been associated since April 2023. Bhaiya, kindly do the prayer.
Jai Shri Krishna. Yogesham Satchidanandam Vasudevam Brajapriyam Dharma Samstakapakam Veeram Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Shri Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Shri Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you so much, Bhaiya, for the divine prayer. Proceeding towards the end, we will listen to Hanuman Chalisa.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारि बरन रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबेको आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबेको रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही समभाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र योजन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर पल जानु प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाहि दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होतन आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपै तीनों लोक हाकते कापै भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै महावीर जब नाम सुनावै नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा वीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नो निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटई मिटई सब पीरा जो सुमिरई हनुमत बल बीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़ हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।
We would like to thank you, Bhaiya, and we would like to thank everyone who have gathered here and are enthusiastic to learn Bhagavad Gita ji. Also, I would like to thank our tech star and our backup team who has hosted such a beautiful session for us. And